What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Modern Mortgage Show with Rocco, where I interview mortgage professionals who share their stories and valuable information about the industry. I'm your host, Rocco, and I'm super excited to introduce my guest today. His name is Spencer Pingitore, and he's a home loan specialist at Spencer P. Homes out of Detroit, Michigan. Spencer, welcome to the show.
Rocco, thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. So, Spencer, can we start the show? Just basically tell us about yourself. Give us a brief introduction of who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I grew up in Michigan, born and raised downriver. I grew up just outside of Detroit. My family grew up here. Spent my whole life here. Went to college, got a music degree. About the time that the first, home economic crisis happened, I was like, man, what do I do? Do I continue with education? Kind of wandered around, stayed in the restaurant industry for a while. So developed some networks, connections through there. Thought I was going to spend my career in restaurants. Turned out I was like, I didn't want to do that. So was looking around for a job. My brother worked at Quicken Loans, got me introduced, worked a little bit for Quicken Loans, amazing company. Transitioned out of there. Didn't know if I wanted to stay in the mortgage game, and so I was looking around, got into the wholesale side. So I was an account executive on the wholesale channel. And now I work with an independent mortgage broker. And, that's what I'm doing right now. So I love it, man. That's just a little bit about where I came from.
Absolutely. So what were you doing in the restaurant business?
So, I did everything from hosting, and I worked my way up to management. So just coming out of college, or just coming into college, right? I was homeschooled. I didn't really have a lot of experience. I started my own lawn service, but I didn't really have a job. So looking for a job, got into the restaurant business, started as a host, got to be a server, worked my way up as a bartender, did some back of house, like prep work, stuff like that. I was like, you know what? Let me try to be a manager. Worked a couple different restaurants, got into a management position, did that for a year. And I was like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, the restaurant business definitely drains you. My dad's been in the restaurant business for over 30 years, so he's drained.
Dude, it's tough. My grandparents were in it, and you got to work long hours. You can't really have anything else besides the business. So
yeah, when my grandfather started it, and then when he passed away, my dad took it over, and he still runs it today.
that's all. Yeah.
So how long have you been in the industry for? You said you transferred from the wholesale side of.
Yeah. Yep. So I've been in the total industry for 4 years now. Like I said, I started at Quicken Loans. Started in 2016, and then I started in the wholesale side about 2 years ago. So about 2018. So I did a little bit of the retail, did a little bit of wholesale on the account executive side, and now I'm a loan officer with an independent mortgage broker.
And yeah, so I was interviewing Andrew yesterday, and he's shared the exact same story as you. He was on the wholesale side. Now he transferred to the front end side.
Yeah.
So mainly, why did you want to get in the mortgage industry? Was it because you were just drained from the restaurant industry, or you said your brother?
Yeah, so my brother is still over there. He's working at Quicken Loans. He's done a number of roles over there, and like I said, phenomenal company. I was looking for something new. Like I wanted to use my background, very strong science background, math background. So wanted something analytical, something I could dig and sink my teeth into. I really like research. So I was like, okay, maybe this will fit for me. And talking to people, I was like, I can talk to people. Like I don't mind that. And I was like, well, why not? What's the worst that can happen? I try it out and I don't like it, and I go, because I was thinking about doing stuff like skilled trades. My dad was a journeyman carpenter, so I've worked in construction and all kinds of stuff with my hands growing up. And I was like, I don't know if I want to sit behind a desk, but let's stimulate my mind and we'll see what happens. So
awesome. So how long have you been on the front end side of things?
So I'm pretty new from the front end side. So I just started and transitioned over in January. So I was in the process, got all my license requirements started. Pretty much, the first week of January, the state of Michigan came to me and said, hey, you're good to go. You just get hooked up with the shop and we can get your license approved and turned on.
And what made you want to make that switch?
So I wanted to go out because I believe that a lot of people who are looking for mortgages don't really know what's involved with the mortgage process. And I really believe and I feel that I want to help people understand what it is, and I want to give people a great product, and I want to give people a great value. And I don't think that people really understand what that process is. So I want to break it down and make it really simple and easy and affordable for them.
Absolutely. So let's touch on that a little bit more. So you mentioned helping people. What would you say is the most rewarding thing about your job? What is the most satisfying thing?
I think the most satisfying thing for me is to be able to watch somebody like understand what's going on. And so I see a lot of people come in and they're like, hey, like this is all, it's foreign to me. Like, I don't understand this. This is like hieroglyphics. Like, I don't know what's going on. So we sit down and when you see that light bulb pop and you're like, oh, this is why this works together. And this is how this works in conjunction with this. And they understand what the process is. That for me is a big reward because I love to teach. And then being able to help people financially is a big reward. I don't like to broadcast, but I have my things, my financial donations I give out yearly. But being able to help somebody, like for instance, I helped one of my good friends save over $200 a month, helped him pay off some student loan debt. And I made some money on it too, but I felt good about putting him in a better position.
Definitely. Teaching people and helping people save money definitely will make you feel good.
Yes.
So shifting gears, what would you say would be kind of your biggest struggle you've had so far in transferring to the front end side in your journey? It's such a short journey, but what have you seen?
So the biggest struggle, I think, for not just people in the mortgage business, but anybody starting a business out there, is just how do you get your name out there in the sea of names? Like, how do you build your brand? How do you develop who you are? Because when people look at your name or your logo, they want to have a thought like, hey, this is what Spencer is. This is what Rocco is, right? This is what John is. Like, so that is really hard to be able to get people to see that and know who you are, I think, because there's so many people out there. There's so many ways that people can get it. They can get it driving down the road. They can get it from a friend. They can get it online now, especially with what's happening across the country. People are going to be staying in, shopping online even more. So the hardest part is just saying, hey, how do I make myself stand out from everybody else? Because there's a lot of people in the market right now.
Absolutely. So what'd you do to fix that? Are you working on it?
Yes. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to do a in-circle method. I'm trying to say, okay, this is what I stand for. I want to know, hey, this is my name, right? I think that was very important to say, hey, this is Spencer P. Holmes. That's what I want to associate with, and the logo, everything. I wanted to decide on that first, and then social media is very important. Website, my Google business page is very important. Yelp, all of those surrounding online. And then, of course, talking to people. Just when you go out, hey, I go out to Home Depot. Hey, how you doing? What do you do? Oh, I'm a loan officer. Like, here, take my card. Like, just trying to put my name out there as in many different platforms and media as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. When I saw your name, home loan specialist, definitely sticks out to me. There's a lot of loan officers that just put their general title, but home loan specialist and having your name, definitely Spencer P. Holmes, definitely stands out because at the end of the day, it's about who knows you.
Right.
So whoever knows you, that's where your business is coming from. So what advice would you give, let's say, to loan officers that are young, starting out, or maybe to yourself when you started out? What advice would you give?
Absolutely. Do research. I like to read a lot or listen to podcasts or, watch videos online. Like, pick out 3 or 4 people that are very successful. Find out like, hey, what is their mindset? How did they do it? Find out your research about, hey, what kind of people are you going after? What's your product? Or are you going to be in a specific type of market? Like, figure out what do you want to do? What kind of value do you want to bring? Because everybody says bring value, bring value. What does that mean? It means, say, hey, I have something that nobody else has. That's what that means, right? Like that. So find something that you want to bring to somebody that nobody else has. Find your little niche in the market. And then once you do it, go out and do it. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes, but just go out and do it and execute. And even if it's messy, it's better than not doing it at all.
Definitely. Like you mentioned, niche down. You can be general, and that takes some time to build up in credibility, or you can go straight into a niche, a very specific topic, and you're considered an expert already. By the way, what What podcasts do you listen to?
So I listen to a lot of Gary Vee. I listen to Joe Rogan. I listen to some Nut and Fancy. I don't know if you're familiar with that. He's more of a different kind of guy. I listen to some jujitsu podcasts. I listen to some chess podcasts. So I'm a little bit all over the place, but my big ones for business is I like Gary Vee. I really like John Maxwell. I really like the 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene, anything that he does, Robert Kiyosaki, stuff like that, 10 times rule, stuff like that. Being like, hey, what can we do to maximize what we have right now? And again, bottom line, it's all about hard work. Like you can have all the ideas, but if you don't actually do anything, it's not going to come to fruition,
Did you read the 48 Laws of Power?
Excuse me. Yes, I have. Yeah.
And the 10X rule?
I have not read the 10X rule yet. I've skimmed through it, but I have my list on Audible that I'm going through right now. Extreme Leadership or Extreme Ownership by John. Yeah, that's that book. If I could recommend one book, I would recommend that book. It's just from the mindset he has.
You know David Goggins?
Yes, David Goggins is awesome.
Did you read that one?
I have not read that, but there's he's also on my list of things to get to, but he's spot on. Just that mindset, right? It's just like, hey, we're not going to give up. I'm going to die before I give up, right?
That mindset translates to everything, not just business, not just working out, but everything.
Exactly.
So you touched on social media and putting yourself out there. So technology has really made its impact in the mortgage space. So how has this affected you, and what are you doing to make sure it makes a positive impact on your business?
I mean, excuse me. So to make sure I'm being a positive on social media with my business account, I mean, looking back, it's like, hey, I need to take and realize that who I was when I was 17, 18, 19, right? I don't need to do that now. Like social media, the internet has changed. Like I'll be 34 this year. And so like, I remember, because I graduated with a music degree, I remember MySpace first came out and that was like a big music platform. Now you got like TikTok and you have Snapchat. And so like seeing the evolution of it and seeing how fast things are progressing online, what you post online, how you post, like, listen, everybody has negative thoughts. You don't need to bring people down online. Like everybody has their own opinion. You don't need to post your opinion. You can have your opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. Listen, I want to educate people on mortgages. I want to bring people positivity. I want to uplift people. So if I see some, maybe I'll just keep it to myself. I'll just keep that with me and keep my social media that I just want to keep that clean,
Absolutely. So are there any software, any technology, any strategies, or anything you're using to help you bring in leads or maintain relationships or systemize your business, organize your business?
Yep. So I currently have my website through GoDaddy. I think they do a phenomenal job. There's a number of website companies out there. That's the one I ended up picking. It works for me. I like that. I use Lead Pops as well. It's a funnel system that you can put in on your website. You can also do marketing and dual branding with that. And then a lot of the lenders that we work with, being an independent mortgage broker, they give us access to marketing, to tools that a lot of people wouldn't have at a very low cost or free, and so they allow us to do things like that. So again, marketing, dual branding, being able to put stuff online with Lead Pop specifically and GoDaddy with Marketing Blast. That's kind of what I'm using. And then in the future, once I have, established like thousands of people in my pipeline, I'll have a CRM, I'll have something to keep that automated.
Yeah, definitely. CRM is huge for being organized, staying consistent, and just taking good notes. But what does Lead Pops do?
So again, Lead Pops is a funnel system. So like when you come to a website, if you have those banner ads, right, it says, hey, look, click here, and it'll just kind of lead you down a trail. Like it's
like a landing page.
Yeah, exactly. It leads you to a landing page. So
like ClickFunnels, if you're familiar.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Okay. So yeah, super simple. I really like it. And again, I'm doing stuff with that. I have, an online application you can click on. So just a couple things here and there.
Definitely. So where would you say, where do you see all of this going in the future with the technology? And it's definitely coming up in the mortgage space now. Where do you see it going in the future?
I mean, I think technology is going to continue to expand at a rapid, exponential growth. Like, I don't think you're going to see it slow down. What does that mean for mortgages? I think you're always going to see people in the industry. Again, I always recommend reach out to an independent mortgage broker. I think brokers are always the best option to get it, but you're going to need people. That's going to diminish because you're going to have more people shopping online. I mean, like it's something crazy, like over 75% of people shop online, just initially for a mortgage, even if they don't get it, but to do research, they go online. And it's like, you're going to have virtual e-closings are coming. You're going to have people closing loans on their couch, just not having to go there. You're going to have notaries online. Everything's going to be online. Again, you're still going to have people, but it's going to be 90% online and probably 10%. That's my personal opinion, but I just you can't take the people out of it, but it's going to be all like this now.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's always going to be a human element to it, like a human touch. But people, when they're shopping, they're doing their research online first.
Yep.
So when they're in that beginning process, they're always online doing their research before they reach out to anyone or make any appointment or commitment. So definitely, I agree with that. And there will always be like a human touch to it. But the shoppers are at the beginning of the process, at least, are online.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's go to the buyer side now. What do you see as the biggest misconception or fear, if I should say, that your clients have before working with you?
So the biggest fear is like, hey, who am I? Do I know what I'm doing? Like, because everybody says, hey, I can do this. Like, everybody knows a mortgage broker. Like, that's the biggest fear, is like probably one of the biggest purchases of my life, if not the biggest purchase of my life, depending on what you're looking at, what area, what kind of loan amount, where you want your future to be. Because I mean, you have family rolled into that. I mean, you have future plans rolled into that. So I mean, you're really making a big decision. So you're like, hey, maybe I don't want to just trust the first guy that comes down the road. So what do you know? Do you know what you're doing? And do you have the right connections if something that does happen to go wrong? Like, maybe you do know what you're doing, but you don't have the right people around you. That's a big fear that I have.
And definitely
Not that I have, that my buyers have.
Yeah, and that goes back to what we were just talking about. So if you brand yourself in the right way, where you're an authority and you know what you're talking about, then that fear should go down. The more you become an authority in the way you brand yourself and the content you post out, then the less the fear goes down and the trust definitely rises. So I totally agree with that. Now, what do you see as the number one most asked question you receive from first-time buyers?
What's my interest rate, or how much am I going to put down? Probably those two are the top. Like, how much is this going to cost me, and what's my interest rate? And those are two very good questions. I always encourage people, don't hesitate to ask questions. You need to ask as many questions as you need to feel comfortable. Do not, and if your loan officer says like and gives you an attitude or like says like, hey, you're like, shop around. Don't work with that person, right? You want to feel comfortable with them. This is a big purchase. Ask questions. But those are the two. What's my interest rate and what's my down payment?
Absolutely. Well, Spencer, thank you so much for coming on and sharing some knowledge today. I had a great time talking with you. I really appreciate it.
Rocco, no, thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. Truly, I'm humbled that you'd have me on here, and thank you so much.
And thank you to all the viewers for watching, and we will see you again next episode.
Thank you.